These are the 10 best wrestlers that I've ever seen in my life, belt to belt in ring. When I say belt to belt in ring, I'm talking about these guys could have a 5-star match with a broomstick. That's how great they are in the ring. There have been a lot of great wrestlers over time, and I think a lot of people, have their own perspective of great in ring generals and people who can carry matches and just be great all around. But these are just my 10 that I've ever seen. This list is also in no particular order, by the way. Get one of the obvious ones out of the way. Shawn Michaels, to me, the greatest in ring performer in WWE history. I've never seen this guy have a bad match, whether it was in the earlier stages of his career or even when he came back for the second run of his career. When he was older and not winning as many championships, but he never needed to because Shawn Michaels was still putting on better matches than pretty much anybody on the roster. Whether it be at WrestleMania or just feuds that he had, like Shawn Michaels all around, it's just the embodiment of what a WWE superstar wrestler, should be because he is just that freaking good. Shawn Michaels, could wrestle with guys bigger than him, smaller than him, stronger than him, faster than him. It don't matter, man. He could be in the ring with anybody and still put on a great match with any superstar you put him in the ring with. He's definitely one of the 10 best wrestlers I've ever graced in my lifetime. I don't see personally how anybody couldn't have Kurt Angle on here. Like, Kurt Angle probably is the greatest technical wrestler I've ever seen. Like, his run in WWE was great, but that run he had in TNA when they were calling him Perk Angle, man. Kurt Angle in TNA was special, man. Like, you could really say Kurt Angle in TNA was the best wrestler on the planet for a period of time, and that's not crazy to say because he was having great matches with anybody, great stories, and the same with his first run in WWE. Great matches with guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, and many more. Like, Kurt Angle was a very special talent, man. He's definitely one of the 10 best wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. 100%, I gotta have Kenny Omega on here. I think he was part of the reason that New Japan Pro Wrestling really started to get really hot and rise to popularity during that Bullet Club era where they were just super over on the independent circle and with the casual audience of the fans who may not even have watched New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they heard about Bullet Club's facts, because it was so dope. And Kenny Omega, I mean, my gosh, bro. If you watch his matches in New Japan with guys like Okada, Tanahashi Naito, Jericho, and many others, man, like, Kenny Omega, bro, in New Japan was like Jesus, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, Kenny Omega, man, definitely one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. Even his stuff in AEW has been great as well, man. Like, he's just a phenomenal athlete, man. A phenomenal wrestler. He's just all around just really, really good. Bret Hart, was criticized by a lot of the fans for maybe his lack in promo ability or, his character work not being entertaining as people had wanted to be, which is understandable. But when it comes to bell to belt in the ring, Bret Hart had zero flaws in his game. I mentioned earlier that Kurt Angle could be maybe the best technical wrestler I've ever seen. Bret Hart's name is definitely in that shuffle as well. Like, his in-ring style made up for the stuff that he lacked in, maybe when it comes to promo or character work. Like, Bret Hart, when that bell rung, you best believe he was going to put on a fire match with anybody he was in the ring with. I'm definitely throwing Seth Rollins in here, man. Seth Rollins, I think, has had, some bad booking throughout his career. Like, the Seth Rollins versus The Fiend Hell in a Cell match. That match was terrible due to the bad booking, but I don't think it was bad due to, Seth Rollins, ability in the ring. Seth Rollins in the ring is a phenomenal athlete. He has so much charisma. He's one of the best pure wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. I believe he could have, a great match with anybody you put him in the ring with. He's all around just that great. So, Seth Rollins, I'm definitely putting his name in this. Eddie Guerrero was a special type of wrestler, man. God rest his soul. He was one of the wrestlers that, I really believe can make you feel in the ring. Like, he can make you feel the energy. He can make you feel the passion. He can make you feel emotions, which, wrestling is all about because wrestling can make you happy. It can make you sad. It can make you angry. Like, wrestling can bring out a lot of emotions in you. And I think Eddie Guerrero embodied all that, man. With his character, he had so much charisma and in-ring style, man. I mean, my gosh, he was just perfection, man. Like, Eddie Guerrero was just all around, a great sports entertainer and a great professional wrestler. Like, he really had the total package when it comes to embodying everything what the business is really about, man. Eddie Guerrero, though, definitely bell to bell, one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. You go back to look at his WCW stuff when he was in the Cruiserweight division or his stuff in WWE when he moved up to the main event scene. Eddie Guerrero, man, it was just special. Man, Will Ospreay is just something else, man. Like, man, Will Ospreay, I don't even know how to explain this guy. Like, if you've seen his matches, whether it be in New Japan or TNA or, the stuff that he's done with AEW, and even though he signed there, he's going to have more matches there. Like, if you've seen the stuff that he's done, throughout his entire career, I mean, Will Ospreay just, like, blows your mind of the stuff that he can do in the ring. His athletic ability is just absolutely insane, and the type of match that he can put on with anybody, man. Will Ospreay is definitely one of the 10 best wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, honestly. Like, and he's going to even get better, as the time comes on, because he's still at the peak of his career. he's only in his early 30s. So, I mean, he's only going to get better as time comes. So, Will Ospreay is a special, special talent, man. Another guy who definitely has to crack my top 10. Some may know him as Daniel Bryan. Some may know him as Bryan Danielson. Either way, he's still got to be on here. You go back and look at the stuff in Ring of Honor, WWE, even AEW right now, or the stuff that he's currently doing in New Japan as well. Like, all around, Bryan Danielson is just phenomenal, man. Another great technical wrestler, another great guy who can pretty much have a 5-star match with anybody you put him in the ring with. This one may surprise some people. I'm throwing Gunther's name in here, bro. Gunther is in here solely off the fact that he's not one of the most athletic wrestlers you've ever seen when it comes to like a Will Ospreay or many other people, but his style and technique is so different and so unique, man, and he could have a great match with anybody. I've never seen this guy have a bad match, whether he was Walter when he was a little bit bigger or Gunther now when he slimmed down. This guy, is so unique because he doesn't really have a finisher set, man. He can beat you with the sleeper hold. He can beat you with the power bomb, a splash from the top rope, a clothesline. Like, he can beat you with the simplest moves ever and make it believable because he's just really, really good at what he does, man. Gunther is one of the 10 best wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Last but certainly not least, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. He didn't get the nickname the phenomenal one for no reason. He truly is that phenomenal. Like, AJ Styles definitely is one of the 10 best wrestlers I've ever seen. He's a top 5 wrestler that I've ever seen in my life. AJ Styles, I mentioned earlier that, Kurt Angle in TNA, you could say was the best wrestler on the planet. You could say the same thing for AJ Styles when he was in TNA. Because AJ Styles in TNA was in his bag for real, man. Like, my gosh, he was like the best wrestler to not be in WWE for a long, long, long time, man. That's how great AJ Styles really was. Like, AJ Styles all around is just spectacular, man. He's definitely one of the 10 best wrestlers I've ever seen.